This is a list of Spanish heads of state, that is, kings and presidents that governed the country of Spain in the modern sense of the word. The forerunners of the Spanish throne were the following: kings of Asturias, kings of Navarre, kings of León, kings of Galicia, kings of Castile, kings of Aragon. These lineages were eventually united by the marriage of Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile. Although the kingdoms continued to be separate, with the personal union they ruled them together as one dominion. Ferdinand also conquered the southern part of Navarre and annexed it to what was to become Spain. Isabella left her kingdom to her daughter Joanna of Castile. Ferdinand served as her regent during her insanity, though rebuffed by the Castilian nobility and replaced by Joanna's husband Philip the Handsome. He resumed his regency after Philip's death. In 1516, after Ferdinand II's death, his daughter Joanna inherited the kingdom of Aragon, but was kept prisoner at Tordesillas as insane. As Joanna's son, the future Holy Roman Emperor Charles V did not want to be merely a regent. He was proclaimed King of Castile and Aragon jointly with his mother in Brussels. Subsequently, Castilian and Aragonese Cortes alleged oath to him as co-king with his mother. Upon her death, he became sole King of Castile and Aragon, and the thrones were thereafter united permanently. During the First Spanish Republic, Spain had heads of state known as the President of the executive power. It is only during the Second Spanish Republic, however, that the official title of President of Spain existed. Today, Spain is a constitutional monarchy, and there is thus no person holding the title of President of Spain. However, the Prime Minister holds the official title of President of the government. Kingdom of Spain. House of Habsburg under Charles I. The two thrones of Castile and Aragon were finally united under one monarch. Disputed claimant. In the year 1700, Charles II died. Charles's will named the 16-year-old Philip, the grandson of Charles's sister Maria Theresa of Spain and King Louis XIV of France, is his successor to the whole Spanish Empire. Upon any possible refusal of the undivided Spanish possessions, the crown of Spain would be offered next to Philip's younger brother Charles, Duc de Berry, or next to Archduke Charles of Austria. Archduke Charles of Austria had a legal right to the Spanish throne due to the fact that Charles's father, Leopold I, Holy Roman Emperor, was the son of Charles's aunt Maria Anna of Austria, but Philip still had the better claim because Philip's grandfather, King Louis XIV of France, was the son of Charles's aunt Anne of Austria, the older of the sisters of Philip IV. However, Philip IV had stipulated in his will the succession should pass to the Austrian Habsburg line, and the Austrian branch also claimed that Maria Theresa of Spain, Philip's grandmother, had renounced the Spanish throne for herself and her descendants as part of her marriage contract. This was countered by the French claim that it was on the basis of a dowry that had never been paid. Thus, the war broke out and Archduke Charles was proclaimed King of Spain, as Charles III, opposite to Philip V. Charles renounced his claims to the Spanish throne in the Treaty of Rastet of 1714, but was allowed the continued use of the styles of a Spanish monarch for his lifetime. Philip ascended the Spanish throne but forever renounced his claim to the throne of France for himself and his descendants. House of Bourbon. House of Bonaparte. The only monarch from this dynasty was Joseph I, imposed by his brother Napoleon I of France after Charles IV and Ferdinand VII had abdicated. The title used by Joseph was King of the Spains and the Indias by divine grace and the constitution of the state. He was also later given all of the titles of the previous kings. A government in opposition to the French was formed in Cadiz on the 25th of September 1808. which continued to recognize the imprisoned Ferdinand VII as king. This government was diplomatically recognized as the legitimate Spanish government by Britain and other countries at war with France. House of Bourbon. Charles IV's eldest son was restored to the throne. Again the title used was King of Castile, León, Aragon, by divine grace. House of Savoy. After the Spanish Revolution of 1868 deposed Isabella II, there was established a provisional government and a regency headed by Francisco Serrano y Domínguez, who acted as head of state from October 8, 1868 until December 4, 1870, while it was requested a new monarch. Amadeo I was elected as king and the new title used was King of Spain, by divine grace and will of nation. First Spanish Republic. The First Spanish Republic started with the abdication as King of Spain on February 10, 1873 of Amadeo I, following the Hidalgo affair, when he had been required by the radical government to sign a decree against the artillery officers. The next day, February 11, the Republic was declared by a parliamentary majority made up of radicals, Republicans and Democrats. It lasted 23 months. Presidents of the executive power. Kingdom of Spain. House of Bourbon. Isabella II's eldest son was restored to the throne. Constitutional King of Spain. Between the death of Alfonso XII and the birth of Alfonso XIII, there was a period of 7 months where the pregnant Queen Maria Cristina served as head of state with the title of regent for her daughter Maria de las Mercedes, who was declared to be queen in name, until the gender of her baby sibling was known. Second Spanish Republic. The Second Spanish Republic was the system of government in Spain between April 14, 1931, when King Alfonso XIII left the country following a period of social unrest after the collapse of General Primo de Rivera's dictatorship a year earlier, and April 1, 1939, when the last of the Republican forces surrendered to nationalist forces led by Francisco Franco. At the end of the Spanish Civil War, Presidents of the Republic. Spanish Republican government in exile. Presidents in exile: Álvaro de Albornoz y Limonana, Diego Martínez Barrio, Luis Jiménez de Sua, José Maldonado González. Francoist Spain. On October 1, 1936, General Francisco Franco was proclaimed head of state in parts of Spain controlled by nationalist forces after Spanish Civil War broke out. After the end of war on April 1, 1939, General Franco took control of the whole of Spain. In 1947, Franco proclaimed the restoration of the monarchy, but did not allow the pretender Juan de Borbón, Count of Barcelona, to take the throne. In 1969, Franco declared that Juan Carlos, the Count of Barcelona's son, would be his successor. After Franco's death in 1975, Juan Carlos succeeded him as the King of Spain. Kingdom of Spain. House of Bourbon. Alfonso XIII's claim descended to his third son, Infante Juan, Count of Barcelona, who was passed over in favor of his eldest son, whose title became King of Spain. The Count of Barcelona announced his claims in favor of his son in 1977, 2 years after Franco's death and Juan Carlos's accession. Juan Carlos abdicated in favor of his son Felipe VI, who became king on 19 June 2014, with Felipe's elder daughter Infanta Leonor next in succession.